Thank you. Especially in the regions most affected. So yes, we do have to change. The scientists have long warned us that we must, and now Mother Nature is doing so with her much more powerful voice. The second question is that if we have to change, can we change? Do we have the ability to solve this crisis? Fortunately, the exciting answer to this question is also yes. You can see it in the incredible progress we are witnessing in the development of renewable energy sources and in the marketplace. The price of solar and wind electricity is dropping very rapidly all around the world, and in many countries and regions, the price of solar electricity from photovoltaics is now cheaper than or equal to the price of the average energy received from the grid. Prime Minister Modi has made renewable energy
megawatt. May I request you all to please present your letters and please remain on stage for a group photograph. This Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jaitley and Mr. Goyal. If I could request this group to please step down. We move on to the next group, which is public sector companies and private sector manufacturing and EPC. And the Honorable Union Minister of Railways, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, to please receive the letters of commitment from the private sector companies. We have Premier Solar Systems Private Limited, 2,000 megawatt in solar. Green Infra Limited, 500 megawatt in solar and 1,500 megawatt in wind. Solary Direct Energy India Private Limited, 2,000 megawatt in solar. Ujas Energy Limited, 2,000 megawatt in solar. Syndicatum Carbon Capital India Private Limited, 1,000 megawatt in solar and 500 megawatt in others. Inspira Enterprise India, 1,500 megawatt in solar. Orange Renewable Power Private Limited, 1,400 megawatt in wind. Bergen Solar Power and Energy, 1,000 megawatt in solar. Continuum Wind Energy India Private Limited, 1,000 megawatt in wind. Energon Power Resources, 1,000 megawatt in wind. MV Photovoltaic Power Limited, 1,000 megawatt in solar and plus 2,500 megawatt for manufacturing. Focal Renewable Energy Holdings, 650 megawatt in solar and 350 megawatt in others. PLG Clean Energy Projects, 1,000 megawatt in solar, and Dwarkesh Energy Limited, 700 megawatt in solar and 300 megawatt in wind. Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. May I now request the Honourable Minister holding independent charge for Environment, Forests and Climate Change.
Our friend, philosopher and guide, our Finance Minister Arun Jaitley ji, my colleague Piyush Goyal, who has done this wonderful job and created a history of all commitments, finance, technology, and all put together, all commitments here. My environment guru, Suresh Prabhu, he inducted me into the environment issues. Dignitaries on dais. The action of Prime Minister, he upscaled the target of renewable energy and particularly solar from 20 gigawatts to 100 gigawatts. It was a huge jump. People thought that this is impossible to achieve. But your commitments show that we will achieve it not by 2022, but even earlier than 2022. This is India's pre-2020 action. Please remember, this is huge. This is huge than many other developed countries. Because 100 gigawatt of solar power means $100 billion of investment and 145 million tons of emissions saved, carbon emissions saved per year. It's a huge thing. It becomes by part of INDCs, and we will place our ambitious INDCs before the world on the road to Paris. So this is a major pre-2020 action in a way. The wind energy target, the nuclear target, the hydro target, all renewable. And as an environment minister, let me assure you, what you expect, that every time you want to go to certain office for seeking some permission, and people told me various stories of how even one pole is to be erected in a forest land, how it creates problem. But I can assure you, if you are building green energy, we will provide you green channel of all. And we will provide you predictable policy regime with standard guidelines. So you won't have to come to office for permissions, but you can come in office for a cup of coffee, because the Pollution Control Board will use 2 permissions. The forest clearance required for each wind energy and many other permissions in grid and off-grid solutions. Wildlife permissions, they become more difficult. There are certain genuine concerns which we must also account for. But they will be put into standard so that if you follow those standard guidelines, you will not have to visit the office at all, because already we have put all processes online. We are processing them. It will be time bound, and we'll provide you those green channel and green clearances. And then you can have green tea in my green building at Paryavaran Bhavan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Vice Chairman, National Institution for Transforming India, Niti Aayog, Mr. Arvind Panagaria, to please share his thoughts with us.